So I just want to really just say thank you to each and every one of you. I know there's one priest here, I think, and there could be some pastors here too, I don't know. But we're just really thankful for you too, because your support really means a lot to us. I'm Renee Scrivano. I'm the Northern Illinois coordinator for Silent No More. In the black shirts, for those of you who are wondering what the black shirts are about, we have a committee that has been getting together for about 3 months, and somebody had said, why don't we wear an armband that has our dates of our abortion on it? And then came the thought of the shirt. And so for the ones who don't have shirts, it's mostly because they don't live right here locally in Rockford. But we just purchased them right around the corner at Tom Harmer, which was also kind of interesting because we got to tell them our stories because we were all going in and they kind of noticed there was a little bit of a pattern. The Silent No More Awareness Gathering is being held to make the public aware of the emotional and physical pain that abortion brings to women, men, and children. Our hope is that women will no longer need to live in silence, but rather expose their experience with their abortion. My daughter had a discussion with one of her friends at college this last week, and they were talking about the common abortion talk of, you know, what's right, what's not right, and the girl had said it was right for women to have abortions because it's their right. And then, of course, my daughter came back with our common statement of, well, what about the baby's rights? And then she further went on to say, but I've never met a mom who regrets having her child, but I do regret women, I have met women who regret having their abortion. That's what we're here for. We're here because we're here to tell you about our abortion experiences. We've exchanged hope for hurt. We've exchanged hope for guilt, shame, sorrow, embarrassment, disappointment, remorse, fear. We're afraid of being exposed, rejected, and we really regret what we've done. We were told, we were given a promise, but yet we've lost that, all that we were told that we would have. There's a problem in America, and other countries too, but I just looked up the statistics for America. But I don't want you to hear these numbers and think of babies. I want you to think of the women. This year, there's over 1 million women going in for abortions. Just 1 month, there's 100,000 women going in for an abortion. In 1 week, it's 25,000. In 1 day, it's over 3,500. In 1 hour, it's 150. And in 1 minute, there's 3. So you can imagine the lives that are being affected by this decision. My abortion happened in February of 1988. I was dating a guy that I loved very much. I had hopes and dreams that someday we would marry and have children together. We were in an on-again, off-again relationship for 3 years. Just before my abortion, we had a breakup, for good. A couple weeks later, I found out that I was pregnant. When I told him that I was pregnant, he said that he wanted me to have an abortion. He said that he didn't feel that I would be a good mother to his child. He challenged me to finally grow up and be a woman and have an abortion. And I didn't really think that he meant it, and I didn't think that he would want me to go through with it, but he did. And to prove that I was strong, I went through with his plan. The night before my abortion, I couldn't sleep. I was lying alone in my bed with my own thoughts, and I knew what I was about to do was very wrong. 2 years earlier, I had gone through a similar situation, but decided to carry my first pregnancy to term. Abortion was never a consideration to me, but now I had a 2-year-old son, and I didn't want others to think less of me. I thought if I had this abortion, I need to come up with a lie, one of the reasons why I couldn't sleep that night. When I woke up the next morning, I called my sister, and I told her that I was having a miscarriage, and I needed to go to the doctor. After I dropped my son off, I went to the abortion clinic. I noticed the picketers. I wanted to make sure none of them knew me, so I drove around the block. None of them looked familiar, so I pulled into the parking lot and went into the building. Once inside, I gave the receptionist a fake name. I felt very, very numb. I filled out paperwork, talked to a counselor, talked to a nurse, and tried not to think about what I was doing. A nurse escorted me into an abortion room. She helped me get ready for the procedure, asked vague questions about the weather and whether or not I was going to school. The abortionist then came in the room and began my procedure. I couldn't seem to keep my eyes off the clear plastic tube. I kept watching to see if I could see my baby pass through it. The nurse was leaning over me and staring into my eyes. After a little while, she asked the doctor, "Is something wrong?" And he said, "It's trying to get away. I've tried 3 times." I was shocked. What he said hit me like a ton of bricks. It is trying to get away from me. I started to pray and I asked God to put his hand in the way of the vacuum, but it didn't work. I couldn't believe that what I was doing. Seconds later, the abortionist said, "It's done." He put away his tools and left the room. From that moment on, I've regretted my abortion. I just wanted to run, to die. I was angry. After the nurse left the room, I just started to cry. A part of me died in that room that day. I knew what I did was wrong. The it he was referring to was my baby. I had to step into another room where all of us ex-moms were in recovery. We were given cookies and juice. I resented that token. It felt like it was just some kind of reward. As I walked down the steps to leave the place, I just bawled. I remember looking into the sky and asking what God thought of me now. The rest of the day, I laid on the couch full of grief. I would look at my son and just cry. I wanted to go back to that place and pull my baby out of the dumpster. If only I could live that day over again. My decision to have an abortion was final. It was over. And I couldn't and I can never go back. My mom, who saw my grief but thought I miscarried, encouraged me to name my baby and to write my baby a letter. I named my baby Carice, which means grace. And I wrote her a letter. I still have things that make me grieve, like when I go to the dentist and I hear the suction. My abortion happened 2 days before Valentine's Day, so Valentine's Day is a reminder for me. Carice was due September 18th. By now, she would be 22 years old. I wonder what she would look like. I wonder what her laugh would sound like. I wonder if she would have a boyfriend or be married. On this earth, I will never be able to hold her or kiss her goodnight, to tell her that I love her or that I'm sorry. I can't believe that I took the life of an innocent baby to make myself look better. I really wish I had had the courage to stand up for Carice and to have said no. My grief drew me closer to God. I know that he forgives me for what I did. When I asked for his forgiveness, he gave me a clean slate. He remembers my sins no more. For that, I'm eternally grateful. I know that when I die, God will welcome me into heaven. Standing next to him will be Carice. Only then will I no longer regret my abortion.